Morning, this is woodblock printmaker Dave Bull here in our shop in Asakusa with the next video in the series covering the blocks from the old Doi Hanga company. Those of you who have followed along so far know that this episode is supposed to be about printing, not Dave talking, and that's exactly what we're going to see. We're going to follow Ayumi-san from a blank sheet of paper up to the finished pair of prints. Now the room where she works back there is pretty cramped, so I was a bit hamstrung in my ability to get different camera angles, but what can I say? This isn't filmmaking, this is printmaking. I apologize if the presentation is a bit static and single focused. Anyway, let's get right to it. But right away we'll see something a bit strange. What is she doing back there, rubbing with both hands? What she's doing is flattening the front surface of the paper by placing it face down on a flat piece of wood, an uncarved block, and rubbing heavily with her baron. This is necessary for this print because of the very worn condition of the wood blocks. Look at this. Some places are so worn that there's almost no edge to the carved areas. Here's an impression taken on paper with a flat surface, and here with our normal washi, which has quite a textured surface. There is far more mess on the washi. It is to try and reduce this marking that she is calendaring the front surface of her paper before beginning the main printing. And here we go. I think she has 40 sheets of paper in her batch for this edition, but we're of course not going to watch all 40. One of each color should be enough to show you how it works. What she's dabbing onto the block and to her brush here is a mix of this very light pale blue pigment, a bit of paste, and I think she put a bit of water on there too to lighten it up a bit. She really takes her time in getting it into these registration corners because this is absolutely critical. There's snowflakes on this block and they're carved on the sky block, a tree block, and then she'll come back to the sky block for a gradation. And if those snowflakes don't line up exactly right, the white effect of the snow will be lost. This is that light blue block you saw earlier, and look at her, she's going to coast this barren over this thing as lightly as she can to avoid making mess around the carved areas. This red one, the vermilion one, was the block that she and I had the most trouble with when doing the testing. I mean, there's so many architectural elements in this shrine. There's vertical posts, horizontal posts, spread all over the place. We had a real battle trying to get it all to register properly. But get it lined up we did. It actually works very, very well. This is perhaps the easiest impression on the whole print. It's a very small little pond of water at the bottom of the shrine. And actually, I confess, this was a test print here where the pond has no gradation, but in the final version, she put a gradation on it with a darker area under that bridge. Here's the kind of impression that separates the men from the boys, if I can use that expression here. The gradation on the sky. As I said before, those snowflakes have to line up exactly with the previous impression. And she's also got to get the gradation quite spread out well, going deep to gradually get lighter and lighter as she goes down. It's very, very difficult to get them all looking exactly the same. Looking very good, nice and rich. Here we are now with just one more impression to go. That's the tree that's going to go in that empty space behind that shrine roof. Standard gradation technique, moisten the block in the area where the gradation is to happen. A little dab of paste there. There's pigment up at the top end of the brush. And the round circular motions bring that pigment down little bit by little bit by little bit through the body of that tree. So there we have it. The first of the Doi Hanga Company prints is now done and ready for shipping. I'll put a link to the order page on the description of this video on its YouTube page. Those of you who have been following our blog and the Facebook page know that Ayumi-san, she's already moved on to the next set of blocks. We're going to be doing this image of Matsushima, and in fact this is one of the proof copies she's already pulled off. She's done a thorough proofing session to check everything out, and we haven't really come across any deal breakers yet. The blocks are nowhere near as badly worn as those little ones were, and although I've had to repair a couple of places here and there, but well, anyway, we'll talk about that when we get to it at the proper time. As for the next video, it's going to be at least a couple of weeks away because I'll be out of the country here for 10 days in early March. I'm getting out before the cherry blossom season comes in. I've been invited to do some demonstrations in Canada, both in Vancouver, a couple of those, and over in Toronto too as well. While I'm away, young Teiko-san will handle the print party duties here, the other staff will handle the shop, and the printers will be back there doing what they're always doing, printing, printing, printing. Now I can't promise anything here about those demonstrations because I'm not the person in charge of those, but I'm going to take a couple of video cameras with me and, well, we'll see. We'll see what we can end up with. Now, to end this episode, we're going to head outside, but I have to confess that at the time I'm recording this part of the video, I haven't done that part yet, so I have no idea what you're about to see. I hope it will be interesting. Thank you again to everybody for watching these videos and for the wonderful comments everybody leaves both on the YouTube website and in our own email. We really, really appreciate that very much. Thank you again and see you next time. I've come outside the shop and I'm at the intersection of Rokudori, our street, and Hoppidori, one of the biggest bar streets in Asakusa, and we're going to try a little experiment. I've put 3 pieces of tape on the ground here to show where my tripod should stand. Why is that necessary? Because I'm going to come back here once every hour starting tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock when the first temple bell rings at Sensoji. We're going to pan the camera back and forth a bit and try and get a snapshot of a corner in Asakusa over the course of a full day, from early morning through the day into the bar time at night. Will this be interesting or not? I have no idea, but there's only one way to find out. Let's give it a try.
楽しいよ。笑いです。
さあ、お笑いです。はい、こんにちは、お笑いライブですよ。
やっちまったな。さあどうぞお笑いライブです。
さあ、どうぞいかがですか。やっちまったなライブです。さあ、いかがですか、お笑いライブ。いかがですか、お笑いライブは。よかったら。あ、どうぞいかがですか、お笑いライブいかがですか。お笑いチャンス。
チャンスをください。チラシだけ。一瞬手に取る。今日5時までやってるんでありがとうございます。素敵。かわいい。
お笑いです。ヘイ。
大気圏のお兄さん、大気圏のお兄さん、大気圏の早く早くあらんだらんだら新人です。今日が初日だよ。
はい、ありがとうございました。どうぞお笑いやってます。どうぞちょうど開演です。まもなくです。お笑いもやってます。
さあお笑いライブです。どうぞ。
すいません。ありがとうございます。すいません。ありがとうございます。見て。怖い。その日払い出す。優勝さえあればな。怖い。ガンちゃん。これはやばいね。
ラーメン系。つまみになるの。
モーター弱い。